Hi guys, welcome to The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. We're doing, since it's the 11th game in the series, we're going to do a little history recap. We're going to look back all the way to the beginning and read up on it and stuff of what we have here. What the game actually has here, it's got a whole history, timeline and everything. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Here's all the games here. But there's a long history. There's quite a long history here. I'll give you a minute to get that realized. I'm not going to quiz you. Don't worry. And this in by no way replaces playing all the games. So this is just going to give you a summation of everything here. All the way up to 11. And the Trails of Daybreak is the start of another arc. So there's the Trails of Daybreak 2. I believe it's already out in Chinese, something like that. They're going to put it into English next year.
So if you look around here, you see some homes that are now just rubble. This stuff's coming in, it's fierce, and it just is unstoppable. So there's a lot of damage that we're seeing here.
Okay. Good old Canadian weed. It's got so many scientists involved, it makes your head spin. Actual weedologists. Okay, guys. Let's go through the timeline. But first, let's go into just a generalized definition of what is the Trail series. Okay? So the Trail series is a saga of stories following many heroes across the Zemurian continent, where most people worship a single goddess known as Adios, and technology has been progressing by leaps and bounds thanks to the use of orbital technology. Zemuria is a storied continent, full of strife between major nations like the Erebonian Empire and the Coward Republic. And the mysterious society of Ouroboros lurks in the shadows. The many stories of trails are told through the eyes of heroes that stand on the edge of these conflicts between light and dark, tradition and innovation, right and wrong. Shit. Taught to protect that which they cherish. A bright-eyed girl following her dreams to become a bracer, just like her father. A newly anointed officer of the Crossfell Police Department tasked with leading the fledgling Special Support Section. a young cadet at Thor's Military Academy, and the trials and tribulations he goes through alongside his classmates in Class 7. Each is carved on a shining trail through the shadows of this age. Now the timeline here, okay. We start at S0. Start the Great Collapse wipes out the ancient Sumerian civilization, ushering in the Dark Ages. Now around S500, the Dark Ages end, thanks in great part to the efforts of the Septian Church. Okay, it's sort of similar. Inquisitions and all that. Okay. S947, the War of the Lions erupts in the Erebonian Empire. And you know, every time I hear War of the Lions, I think of Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions. So that's what game comes to mind right there on the PS1 or 2, I can't remember. But I used to play past it, loved it. Way back when. S952, the War of the Lions comes to an end. Drykos is crowned Emperor. S1100, the citizens of the Calvard Kingdom revolt, leading to the creation of the Calvard Republic. Sorry, I got my allergies going on me. Let's see. S1134, Crossfell becomes the suzerain state beholden to both Erebonia and Calvard. S1150, Professor C. Epstein kicks off the Orbital Revolution. We haven't seen any game yet. S1178, the Salt Pale appears in Northumbria, spreading disaster throughout the then Principality. S1192, the 100 Days War ignites between Erebonia and Liberal. S1196, Samuel Rocksmith is elected president of Calvard. S1198, a cooperative international plan is put into effect to eradicate the DG cult. S1202 is when Trails in the Sky FC first chapter comes out. Liberals Intelligence Division orchestrates a coup d'etat. S1203, Trails in the Sky second chapter. The orbital shutdown phenomenon spreads across Liberal, and a mysterious floating island appears in the sky. Remnant, oh yeah, that's right, that's in the second chapter. Now this is Trails from Zero, S1204. By the way, play the games in these orders, but before we get to Zero, there's also a Trails in the Sky, the third chapter. We'll get into the whole definition of that in a minute, but the reason why it's not on the timeline is because it didn't happen. They didn't travel in. Well, when we get to the definition, all will become clear in a minute, okay? S1204, remnants of the D&G cult sow chaos across Crossfell. That's Trails from Zero. Crossfell bids for independence. That's in Trails to Azure. Civil War breaks out, and this is a busy year, 1204. Civil War breaks out in Erebonia. That's Trails of Cold Steel 1. S1205. Trails of Cold Steel 2, which is, I've heard, is one of the best ones of the series. As well as Reverie, I heard it's good too. Really hard, but not hard, but complex, but good. This Trails of Cold Steel 2. The Erebonian Civil War ends and Crossfell is annexed to the Empire. S1206. President Rocksmith fails to be re-elected as president. Erebonia invades Calvard, culminating in the Battle of Jormungandr. Trials of Cold Steel 3 and 4 happen here. S1207. Roy Gramhart takes office as Calvard's new president. And this is in the Trails of Reverie. Crossbell overcomes one more barrier and finally reestablishes its independence. And then in S1208, a new story begins, which is our story here at the Daybreak. Now we're going to past trials. Here's the third, second, first. 0 is 0. These first three are part of an arc called the Liberal arc. It's where they take place in the Liberal Kingdom. Trails from 0 and the 0 are part of an arc too. It's only 2 games that are part of an arc. I forgot the name of the arc, but it's an arc, okay? That's the second arc. Trails of Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all an arc. I guess it's the Cold Steel arc. So this is the beginning of one. It's always good to start, I've always found, anywhere at the beginning of an arc. That way you can always go back or understand forward and everything else, right? You don't want to play like part 3 out of nowhere without playing part 1 or 2, right? So let's get into it. Trails in the Sky FC, first chapter. They're actually redoing this game. 2025 coming out with the Japanese one or the Chinese, I'm unsure. Don't kill me because I don't know. But they're coming out east. Coming out in the east. So after it comes out in the east, it takes about a year or so for the English translation to go in. And then we may see it in North America probably a year later, maybe end of 25 if we're lucky, if they work fast. But I'm figuring 25 for the game will come out, and then 26 is when the English game will come out. Just a guess. It's well educated. Okay, Trails in the Sky, first chapter. This story follows Estelle, a young lady living in the outskirts of Roland, a town in the Liberal Kingdom, and Joshua, the young boy raised as her brother. Together they follow in the footsteps of their father, Cassius, to become bracers. One day, Cassius leaves the two behind to handle an incident caused by Erebonian forces. His absence leads Estelle and Joshua to undertake a request meant for their father that takes them across the Liberal Kingdom as they endeavor to become fully fledged bracers. Their bond grows even deeper as both of them travel and overcome countless obstacles. Their journey is full of heroism and growth, and not just personal. Estelle's bond with Joshua deepens every day, but shadows lurk about. Shadows Estelle is not aware of. Soon she will have to contend with the massive conspiracy her young eyes never knew existed, and come to terms with the role she will play in the lurking shadows of Liberal. Okay, Trails in the Sky, second chapter. Together with the comrades, Estelle and Joshua help prevent the coup d'etat brewing in Liberal.
I don't know if there's a stealth vote, but these polls have been increasingly difficult to parse out over the last few elections.
Soon afterwards, on the night of the Queen's birthday, Joshua confesses to Estelle. He professes his love and comes clean about the past he has so long held secret from her before vanishing into the night. Now, a fully fledged bracer, Estelle sets out on another journey, this time a much more personal one, vowing to not rest until Joshua comes back to her. Estelle and her companions, also joined by the traveling priest Kevin, soon embark on a fateful journey as the mysterious society of Ouroboros shadows looms over them. Will she be able to both save Joshua and put a stop to the society's plans? What hidden truths await the young bracer? Second chapter. It's just Charles in the sky that said, okay, listen up, guys. This is probably the reason why they didn't include it. Though many know Kevin Graham as a traveling priest wandering the continent, few know of his true identity as the heretic hunter, fifth in meaning of the Grouse Ritter. In the aftermath of the recent incident in the Burrell, he comes across an artifact known as the Recluse Cube. During the investigation and retrieval of the artifact, he and Reese, childhood friend and newly appointed squire, get dragged into the mysterious dimension known as Phantasma, a giant maze of old and new locations drawn from memory, along with devils and fiends ripped straight from the pages of church scriptures. But old vistas are not the only familiar sights in Phantasma, as they reunite with old companions like Estelle and friends who are also drawn into Phantasma. Soon Kevin and Reese set out on a search for answers to the many mysteries of the cube as they contend with the many demons of their past. See, they go into a cube, another dimension, stuff like this, so they don't really do anything in the real world. So that's why it's probably takes place in a pocket dimension outside the timeline. I wish I would have played that. I have it, just haven't got to it.
You will hear Kamala claim that the reason the border is not secure is that Congress has refused to pass her atrocious border bill. It's the worst bill you've ever seen.
Joseph Zero, I have tried. I liked it. For what it's worth. I have that game as well. I have all of them all the way up to the Trials of Cold Steel 3. I need 4, Reverie, and I have Daybreak. I was in the middle of Cold Steel 1 and I seen Daybreak and I came into some money and I'm like, okay, well, I definitely want to do Daybreak because it reminds me of, I used to be a PI back when. So, doing a PI type game is up my alley big time. And not like Ace Ventures, Ace Attorney or whatever it is. I don't like them. She chose some Zero. Crossfell City is a place of duality, bordered on all sides by two massive superpowers, while also harboring both a bountiful economy and a notorious seedy underbelly, earning itself the moniker of the City of Sin. With the goal of improving their deteriorating public image, the Crossfell Police Department has opened a new division called the Special Support Division, geared towards helping the citizenship directly by way of support requests. This becomes an uphill battle. Their brand new division is treated by many as nothing more than bargain bin bracers, and our 4 new members of the fledgling SSS, comprised of Lloyd, a rookie detective following in the footsteps of his late brother, star of the 1st Division, Ellie, a polite and brilliant young lady, Randy, a suave Crossfell Guardian ex-force member, and Tio, a genius girl transferred from the Epstein Foundation. The SSS will have to make use of their unique strengths to surmount the challenges Crossfell, a city of both light and darkness, has for them. There is no barrier that the SSS cannot overcome. Okay. Trail to Azure. Cheers.
Storm after storm, people losing everything that they've worked for. It's just crazy.
Okay. Trails to Azure. Crossbow is now safe from both the Mafia and a rampaging cult of fanatics, all thanks to the Special Support Section's efforts. However, their work is far from over. After the Mafia's collapse, Crossbow's underworld is now left with a power vacuum and many entities seeking to fill that void. All while Ouroboros snakes start to slither in the shadows, the SSS, with new members on board, soon prepare to begin anew and continue on their rocky path. The way ahead may not be so easy, though, as Crossfell's own destiny and history start to intertwine, and the SSS soon may have to face those truths, alongside the truth behind the young KEA, who the SSS has taken in as family. Amidst the chaos, Lloyd challenges the barrier standing between him and that which he cherishes, not straying from the path he's chosen. Cold Steel 1. This is a good game too. But I hear Cold Steel 2 is one of the best ones in the series. Best in series, they call it. So I'm looking forward to part 2 in the future. I plan on videoing all of it, so don't worry. You'll be there as well.
And I look forward to Pastor Green being a head of this church. And right now, the power of prayer. So I do a lot of praying, and I'm looking forward when I leave here to go on and continue to do what I do, moving our city forward. Implied. It's about he's disappointing people, and the people have to be disappointed in him. It's not him doing this. It's the government. We're the government that everybody should be disappointed with. Bringing this case against the city mayor.
She chose Cold Steel 1. The Erebonian Empire is rapidly heading into a heated conflict as tensions rise between the noble faction, led by Erebonia's 4 great houses, and the reformist faction, helmed by Chancellor Julieth Osborne. Sequestered away from the heart of the conflict lies Thor's military academy. This year harboring a special new class clad in peculiar red uniforms. The recently established Class 7 breaks the mold with both an all-new curriculum and the intermingling of nobles and commoners. One of its members, Reen, overcomes the occasional conflict between classmates to form deep bonds with them, each one a unique character of their own, with differing backgrounds. Class 7's field studies soon take them to every corner of the Empire as they get a hands-on experience with the Empire's many conflicts. Yeah. Trails of Cold Steel 2. Civil war breaks out in Erebonia following Chancellor Osborne's assassination. A sniper's bullet heralds chaos as a giant warship descends from the skies, harboring a brand new menace known as Panzer Soldats. Massive humanoid weapons. Ouroboros, of course, is not far behind, forever lurking just below the surface. In the midst of the confusion, Rean wakes up on the snowy mountains near his hometown, accompanied by just a talking black cat and the massive Ashen Knight Valimar. With his comrades left behind, Rean sets out with Valimar on a journey across a war-torn empire to reunite with his lost friends and unravel the conflicts of Erebonia's civil war. Trails of Cold Steel 3. 2 years have passed since the end of the Erebonian Civil War. Though weighed down by the tragedies and conspiracies surrounding him, the now graduated Rean Schwarzer finds himself appointed as instructor in the newly established Soros Branch campus as head of Class 7 successor. They retake the old tradition of field studies, Rean now leading his new students as tensions rise between the Republic and the Empire in the wake of the Chancellor Osborne's rule following the Civil War. It won't be a straightforward school year for any of them, however. Spurred on by a fateful meeting in the now occupied Crossbell and by the Hexen clan, a coven of witches, they will unearth many of the mysteries buried in the annals of the history of the Empire. Trails of Cold Steel 4. Old and new Class 7 wake up in Aaron Village, the home of the Hexen clan. Sullen after all the tragedies that came their way, Rean has been chosen as a sacrifice for the curse of Erebonia. A curse that's been slowly eating away at the core of the Empire and its people. Conflict and all-out war between Erebonia and Calvert is all but inevitable as the population of the Empire gets manipulated by the curse. All the while, the 7 Divine Knights are on a crash course to enact their destined rivalries. With the massive weight of the impending battle of Jormungandr, it really sounds like Disciples 2, Dwarf, Runes, Jormungandr on their shoulders. Class 7 must endeavor to reveal the accursed truth of the Empire and its lost Septarians, and put an end to the Great Twilight and Osborne's machinations. Should be going. Now, Trails into Reverie ties this arc, and this arc. 3 arcs, see 1, 2, 3, ties them all into this one here. with the Battle of Trails into Reverie. With the Battle of Jormungandr over and the Ereboni's curse vanishing, suddenly there's a ray of hope for Crossfell to regain their independence. Lloyd and the Special Support Section, who have been working in the shadows in the years following the annexation, can finally return to the public. However, former Governor General Crossfell, Rufus Alvarez, crashes the party on the day of the Declaration of Independence. He takes control of the city and declares the formation of the United Nations of Crossfell, brainwashing the populace with the help of a dancer clad in black. Despite the grim situation, Lloyd decides to stay in his fight. In the meantime, Reed finds himself yet again tangled in the Empire's destiny, and a mysterious masked man known as C begins his travels with a doll called Lapis. A new story arises as the past of these three heroes start to intertwine. Cool, I'm really looking forward to playing Reverie as well. Let's see. Oh, I see. These are just different definitions and stuff. What the church is, etc. Well, these are all the states. Okay, excellent. I just wanted to make an episode about some of the lore, some of the back in the day stuff and everything. Now let's read Trails of Daybreak. Let's see what it says. For this game, The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. After the war, Calvert is enjoying unprecedented economic prosperity. However, the public grows uncertain as the number of immigrants increases and the political reform runs rampant. Follow Van, a young man in a local Spriggan, on a unique request that will prove more than he bargained for. Will the nation fall into chaos? The Spriggan's life is but one of many professions that has emerged from the Calvert Republic. Be it playing detective, negotiator, or bounty hunter, Van Arkwright takes on the kind of work that can't be taken to more legitimate sources. It could be something the police can't handle, work that's best left out of the public's eye, or even a request from a criminal organization in the underworld. So long as it pays and doesn't cross too far over the gray line, he'll accept any near job that comes across the table. Okay. Excellent. And that's that. That concludes our history recap, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you're tuning in and check out the run I got. All right, have a good one.
A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget. I'm 54. What's my